Hello and welcome to number one. I have 10 podiums behind me and 10 players to come down and fill them. So let's start by playing for qualifying positions. Now, the important thing about this round is the nearer you qualify to number one, the easier the rest of the game's going to be. But the nearer you are to number 10, the greater danger you're in of being knocked out early on in the game. Whoever's behind the number one podium by the end of the show could win up to £2,500. So players, get this first question right, you'll go to number one. Get it wrong, though, and you'll start at number 10. So here's the first question. What are kept in a building called a campanile? Alex.
Bells.
Is the right answer. It's a bell tower. Alex Carmel from Fulham, you qualify at number one. Which composer wrote The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra? Derek.
Britain.
It was Benjamin Britten, so Derek Moody from Warrington, our reigning champion, you qualify at number two. For number three then, first published in the 1920s and 30s, what were Adventure, Rover, Hotspur and Wizard? Carl.
Comics.
They were indeed. Carl Davey from Hull, you qualify at number three. Which British former world heavyweight boxing champion has defined the sport as show business with blood? Christel.
Sorry.
It was Frank Bruno, so Crystal Smith from Camberley, you qualify at number 10. Which fruit is used in French cuisine to make bigarade sauce served with duck or with goose? Richard.
Orange.
Correct. Richard Cheer from Balham. That means you qualify at number 4. Who played the Doctor in two 1960s Doctor Who films? Mark.
Peter Cushing.
Correct. Mark Hobson from Taunton. You qualify at number 5. Which country did the United Nations estimate had reached a population of 1 billion before the millennium? Daniel.
India.
About 20% fewer than China. It was India, so Daniel Perry from Strabane, you qualify at number 6. Which racket sport was introduced to the Olympics in 1992? Stephen.
Tennis.
No, it was badminton, so Stephen Fadian from Wolverhampton, you qualify at number 9. What was the name of Huey Lewis's backing group? Janet.
The News.
Correct. Janet French from Telford, you qualify at number 7, which means that Adele Baker from Manchester, you take our remaining podium, number 8. Qualification is complete, so players go to your podiums. So everyone's in their places, and look what's happened. We've got Alex up there at number 1, but Alex, you're going to have to fight to hang on to your position because you've got our reigning champion, Derek, right next to you on his third programme. He's very fast, and he could knock you off that top spot very quickly. But down here at number 9 and 10, we've got Stephen and Crystal. You're going to really have to fight to get out of that danger zone if you want to stay in the game for very long. From now on, every time you get a question right, you'll move up, get it wrong, and you'll move down. I've got 2 and 3 place questions, and the number 1 questions, which can transform everything by taking you all the way up to that top podium. The key in this round is to stay away from those last 2 podiums, because from now on, every 60 seconds, whoever's there will have to play a single head-to-head eliminator question, lose it, and you're out. So if you're all clear, let's play. In a laser, light is amplified by the stimulated emission of Alex, number 1.
Radiation.
Well, it is radiation, but if you'd waited for the full question, what is similarly amplified in a maser? It's microwaves. Move down to number 2. Which former editor of the London Mystery magazine, who was also a TV cook, one of the 2 fat ladies, died in August 1999? Alex, number 2.
Clarissa Dixon White.
No, it was the other one, Jennifer Patterson. Alex, you go down to number 3. A 3-place question now. Which English explorer's life was reputedly saved by Pocahontas? Alex, number 3.
James Cook.
No, it was John Smith. Alex, go down 3 places to number 6, a costly error. You were at number 1 a minute ago. Another 3-place question. Which Liverpool group of the 60s took their name from the title? Daniel, number 5.
Jay and the Pacemakers.
No, from the title of a John Wayne Western, it was The Searchers. Move down 3 places to number 8. Alex, Janet and Adele, you move up a place. In the comedy films Beethoven and Beethoven Second, Alex, number 5.
A dog.
Beethoven was a dog. Move up to number 4. From the programme on which they found fame, what's the title of Hearsay's debut album? Janet, number 6.
Pop stars.
Correct. Move up a place. What's the most northerly? No time to finish the question, and we've got Crystal and Stephen still there at number 10 and number 9 without having answered a question. One of you will have to go out now on this eliminator. What's the name of the small wooden mallet used by auctioneers and judges? Stephen.
A gavel.
Is the right answer, Stephen. You survive and play on. Crystal, I'm afraid that means you're out. And on with the game. Which is the most northerly of the 15 capital cities of the European Union? Mark, number 6.
Helsinki.
Is the right answer. Move up a place to number 5. In which great naval battle of 1571 did a Christian fleet under... Derek, number 1.
Lepanto.
Under Don John of Austria smash a huge Turkish armada? It was Lepanto. Derek, because you're at number 1, you can choose a rival. Who's it going to be?
Alex.
Alex, go all the way down from number 4 to number 9. You'll have to fight your way back up into contention. The characters in which musical include Juan Perón and Che... Derek, number 1.
Evita.
And Che Guevara. It is Evita. Derek, who's your rival now?
Number 2.
Carl, go from number 2 down to number 9 into that elimination zone. And again, you will have to fight your way back up to the top. In Greek legend, which monster with a lion's head and a dragon's tail? Richard, number 2.
Cerberus.
No, it's the Chimera. Richard, you go down a place to number 3. In July 1999, on the seafront at Morecambe, the Queen unveiled a bronze statue of... Derek, number 1.
Eric Morecambe.
Is the right answer. Who's your rival? Or, of course, you could use your freeze option.
I'll freeze Alex.
Alex, you're frozen into that elimination zone at number 8, but time is up in any case, and that means you'll have to play Carl in a head-to-head eliminator. In which film did Richard Attenborough sing, "I've never seen anything like it," after seeing a Push Me Pull You? Alex.
Dr. Dolittle.
Is the right answer, Alex. You survived to play on. Carl, I'm afraid he was just a bit too fast, and that means we lose you. Start the clock. In which city does the GMEX Exhibition Centre? Stephen, number 7.
Manchester.
It does occupy the site of the former Central Railway Station. Move up a place. In which county is the beauty spot of Lulworth Cove? Janet, number 4.
Dorset.
Correct. Move up a place. A number 1 question now. Which American city is the primary setting for the film The Untouchables? Derek, number 1.
Chicago.
Is the right answer. Derek, who's your rival?
Number 6.
So, Stephen, go down from number 6 into the elimination zone there at number 8. Which general inflicted a heavy defeat on the Romans at the Battle of Daniel, number 6?
Hannibal.
It was Hannibal at the Battle of Cana. Move up to number 5. Which rich fruitcake topped with flaked almonds takes its name? Derek, number 1.
Dundee.
No, from an Italian city, it's Genoa. Derek, you move down to number 2. Which English professional football team's home ground is the Riverside Stadium? Derek, number 2.
Sunderland.
No, it's Middlesbrough, Derek. Move down again to number 3. 60 seconds is up, and Alex, you're still in that elimination zone, this time against Stephen, who was dumped in it by Derek a moment ago. Specifically, which sport provides the backdrop to the British films This Sporting Life and Up and Under? Alex.
Rugby union.
It's not rugby union, it's rugby league, Alex, which means that Stephen moves up to number 7. Alex, you move down to number 8, and you were such a contender for that top spot, but now I'm afraid you're out. So we've got a new man at the number 1 podium, Mark. Let's see if he can hang on to his place. Start the clock. Which 2 metals comprise the alloy bronze? Janet, number 2.
Copper and tin.
Is the right answer. Go up to number 1. Mark, she's knocked you off. B.G. Morris Gibb married which singer? Daniel, number 5.
Lulu.
Correct. Move up a place. A 2-place question now. Which castle in West Sussex is the home of the Dukes of... Daniel, number 4.
Arundel.
The Dukes of Norfolk are at Arundel. Daniel, move up 2 places to number 2. Mark and Derek, you move down. He's catching you up, Janet. To see what did thousands of visitors rush to the Channel Island of... Mark, number 3.
Solar eclipse.
Yes, they all rushed to Alderney in August 1999 to see an eclipse of the sun. Move up to number 2. A 3-place question now. Who composed the Liverpool oratorio, Standing Stone? Derek, number 4.
Paul McCartney.
And Working Classical. They were all by Sir Paul McCartney. Move up 3 places, back up to that number 1 podium. Which multi-talented Russian-born Briton won 2 Academy Awards as Best Supporting Actor in the... Daniel, number 4.
Peter Ustinov.
In Spartacus and Topkapi, it was Peter Ustinov. Daniel, you move up a place to number 3, but that sound means that 60 seconds is up, and Stephen and Adele must now play an eliminator. Which cartoon character's catchphrase became the title of a 1972 comedy film starring Barbara Streisand? Stephen.
Bugs Bunny.
Correct, the catchphrase being "What's up, Doc?" So Stephen survives his third eliminator and moves up to number 6. Adele, you move down to number 7, and sadly that means you're out. And on we go, our reigning champions still at number 1. Karen Woodward, Siobhan Fahy, and Sarah Derek, number 1.
Bananarama.
They were all in Bananarama. Derek, who's your rival?
Number 2, please.
Janet, go down from number 2 to number 6. The rest of you move up a place. Which country is the setting for L.M. Montgomery's books about Anne of Green Gables? Janet, number 6.
Canada.
Well recovered. Move up a place to number 5. Deriving from a 19th century governor of Massachusetts, what name is given to the manipulation of boundaries for electoral gain? Daniel, number 2.
Gerrymandering.
Correct. Move up to number 1. Derek, you've been knocked off the spot. But a number 1 question now. This could change everything if you get it right. Which World War I poet wrote the line, "If I should die, think only this of me"? Janet, number 5.
Rupert Brooke.
Is the right answer, Janet. Well done. You go all the way up from number 5, right to that number 1 podium, and you're back in control of the game. What was the surname of Janet and Alan, the British husband and wife, who created the picture books? Janet, number 1.
Alberg.
It was the Albergs. Janet, who's your rival?
Derek.
Derek, our reigning champion. Go down from number 3 into the elimination zone at number 6. Which Old Testament prophet? Oh dear, no time to finish that question. Derek, you're in the elimination zone against Stephen. Stephen, can you survive again against our reigning champion? The A2 trunk road links London to which port? Stephen.
Dover.
Stephen, congratulations. That is the right answer. You survived to play on, and you've defeated Derek, who was our champion, but Derek with over £3,000 in prize money so far. We hope to see you in our champions final. Right now, you're out. So, a dramatic way to finish that round, but join us in part 2, and we'll see who ends up at number 1. Welcome back. We're about to find today's number 1. Someone could go home with up to £2,500 today, so let's see who we've got left from our original 10. At number 5, we've got Stephen Fadian, who qualified at number 9, a credit risk manager from Wolverhampton. Stephen, you seem to come alive on the eliminators. You've survived 4 of them, so you should be well placed for this 3rd round. At number 4, Richard Cheer, who's from Balham in London. Richard, you qualified at 4. You're still at 4, so you've been fairly quiet up until now. Let's see how you fare. At number 3, we've got Mark Hobson, who qualified at number 5, a flight attendant from Taunton in Somerset. Let's see how you fare now. At number 2, we've got Daniel Perry, a freelance management consultant from Strabane in County Tyrone. Daniel, you qualified at number 6. You've been playing a pretty aggressive game. But at number 1, we've got Janet French, who qualified at number 7, an upholsterer from Telford. Janet, you've done extremely well, but let's see if you can hang on to that position and go for the cash later on. What we're going to do now is play a series of head-to-head rounds, beginning with the 2 at the end. The first person to get 3 correct questions survives to challenge the next person in line until we find our number 1. So first up, 5 plays 4, Stephen against Richard. A barium meal would be taken by a hospital patient. Richard.
An X-ray.
Is the right answer. You've got 1 point. Which member of the royal family married Angus Ogilvy on April the 24th? Stephen.
Marina Ogilvy.
Is the wrong answer, Stephen. It was Princess Alexandra of Kent who married Angus Ogilvy in 1963. The point goes to Richard. So, Stephen, you must get this next question right to stay in the game. Who was the highest-placed British driver in the 2000 Formula One World... Stephen.
David Coulthard.
In the World Drivers' Championship, it was David Coulthard. You get a point. Which actresses' rock star husbands were Jim Kerr and Liam Gallagher? Stephen.
Patsy Kensit.
Correct. You've got 2 points now, so it's 2 points apiece. Whoever gets this next question will go through. What sort of delicacy are elvers? Stephen.
Baby eels.
They are young eels. Stephen, you get the 3rd point, which means you move up to number 4. Richard, you move down to number 5, and I'm afraid that means we lose you. So, Stephen seems to have become the king of the head-to-head. Let's see what happens when he takes on Mark at podium number 3. Which Swedish-born actress sued Rod Stewart for millions of dollars in palimony after their relationship ended? Mark.
Kelly Emberg?
No, it was Britt Eklund, Mark. The point goes to Stephen. To which family of birds does the blackbird belong? Mark.
Thrush?
correct. You've got 1 point, so 1 point apiece. In April 1999, a Japanese maglev train attained a speed of 343 miles per hour. What is meant by a maglev? Stephen.
Magnetic elevation.
I'll accept that. It's magnetically levitated, but we'll accept that answer. You get 2 points. Which comedian is married to magician Jeffrey Durham? Mark.
Cilla Black.
No, Mark, it's Victoria Wood, which means the point goes to Stephen, who survives on to challenge again and move up to podium number 3. Mark, bad luck, but you are now out. So, Stephen, you've now survived 6 eliminations. Janet, what do you make of this?
He'll be hard to beat.
It will be hard to beat if he makes it up to you, but before that, he's got to beat Daniel at podium number 2. So let's see what happens now. Rodin's sculpture, The Thinker, was originally conceived as a portrait of which Italian... Daniel?
Michelangelo.
No, it was of Dante, who was born in 1265, which means the point goes to Stephen. Which Baltic country won the 2001 Eurovision Song Contest? Stephen.
Estonia.
With everybody, its first winning entry. You've got 2 points, Stephen. So, Daniel, you must get this next question right to stay in the game. Which organisation, privatised in 1999, was formerly known by the initials HMSO? Daniel.
Her Majesty's Stationery Office.
Is the right answer. It's now just the Stationery Office. You've got 1 point. Which actress from New Zealand starred in The Protectors and played Irene in the Forsyte Saga? Daniel.
Nairi Dawn Porter.
Is the right answer. You've got 2 points, so 2 points apiece. Whoever gets this next question will go through to challenge for number 1. Of what is horology the study? Stephen.
The sun.
It's not the sun, Stephen. It's time measurement, including the constructions of clocks, which means the point goes to Daniel. Stephen, you did very well all the way up there to number 3, but now I'm afraid you're out. So Daniel at number 2 plays Janet at number 1. Whoever wins this will get the chance at the £2,500. So fingers on buzzers. Which TV drama based on Compton Mackenzie's Highland novels was set on... Janet.
Monarch of the Glen.
Was set on the estate of Glen Bogle, starring Richard Briers and Susan Hampshire. You've got 1 point. Who painted The Laughing Cavalier? Janet.
Franz Hals.
Correct, you've got 2 points. Daniel, she's got 2 points, you've got nothing. You must get this next question. Which liqueur is a lurid green in colour? Daniel.
Green Chartreuse.
And has a French name meaning mint cream. It's the other one, creme de menthe. Daniel, the point goes to Janet, which means that Janet, you've got all 3 points and you are today's number 1. So congratulations, Janet. Bad luck, Daniel. She was just a bit too fast for you. Janet, because you are our number 1, our smartest and fastest, you've already won the right to come and join us again on the next programme. But right now, you're going to play for the money. There is £2,500 up for grabs, but we are going to give Daniel and the other 8 people you defeated the chance for some revenge. So everybody, back to your podiums. What we're going to do is ask all of you to take on Janet head-to-head on one question for increasing amounts of money, beginning with £50 when it's Crystal down there at number 10, right up to £1,000 when it's Daniel up at podium number 2. It's very simple. Get the question right, you win the money. Get it wrong, though, and it goes to your opponent. Now, all of you will get to choose the subject of the question, and here they are. They range from Brits in America right down to unusual animals. But if Janet doesn't like that subject, she may decide to pass and move the money up, thereby increasing her risk on the next question. So, Crystal, for £50, pick a subject.
British Olympians.
Janet, do you want to play or pass on British Olympians?
I'll play.
She's going to play. For £50, at the 1984 Olympics, Daley Thompson won the decathlon. In which other event's final did he take part? Janet.
100 metres relay.
Is the right answer. Janet, you win the £50. Crystal, I'm afraid that means no money for you. Carl, for £50, pick a subject.
Brits in America.
Play or pass, Janet?
I'll play.
She's going to play. For £50, which actor starred in Callan and The Equalizer? Carl.
Edward Woodward.
Is the right answer. It's a good steal. Carl, you're going home with £50. For £100, Alex, I'm sure you'd like some revenge. You went out far too early. Pick a subject.
Could I have ports, please, Krishna?
Janet, play or pass?
Play.
She's going to take him on. For £100, which Yorkshire fishing port links Captain Cook and Count Dracula? Alex.
Whitby.
Is the right answer. It's a good steal. You're going home with £100. Adele, for £100, pick a subject.
Food varieties.
Janet, food varieties, play or pass?
I'll play.
For £100, in Italy, what sort of food are mortadella, cotticino and pepperoni? Janet.
They're cold meats.
I'll accept that. They're varieties of sausage. That means you win the £100 and Adele, no money for you. Now, Derek, you've taken home £3,050 on previous programmes, but now defeated, you've got the chance at a £200 bonus. Pick a subject.
Can I have nicknames in music, please?
Play or pass, Janet?
I'll pass that one, please.
Oh, you're going to pass. Now, is that the subject or the man, I wonder?
Oh, I'm excellent on the subject, but I'm scared of that man.
All right, OK. Well, Derek, I'm afraid you don't get a chance at the cash this time, so let's move the money up. So, Richard, that makes your question worth £400. What's it going to be?
I'll take unusual animals, please.
Janet, play or pass?
I'll play.
For £400, what name is given to a cross between an ass mare and a horse stallion? Janet.
A mule.
No, it's a hinny, Janet, which means the £400 goes to Richard, and you're going home with a nice little sum. So, Janet, you've got £150 so far, but it's been slipping away from you a little bit. Let's see how you fare against Mark. This question is worth £300, Mark. What's it going to be?
I'll go for the fashion industry, please.
Play or pass, Janet?
I'll play.
So, for £300, which cult French designer produced Madonna's costumes? Mark.
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
It was indeed. It's a good steal, and Mark, you're going home with £300. So, Stephen, this question's worth £500. You've only got two to choose from. What's it going to be?
I don't like either of them, but I'll pick studies.
Janet, do you want to play or pass?
I'll play.
For £500, of what is nephology, the study? Stephen.
Nerves.
Stephen, it's clouds, which means the £500 goes to Janet, and, unfortunately, no money for you.
I should have done an ology.
So, Janet, you've got £650 in the bank. Daniel, your question is worth £1,000, but you have no choice. The only thing left on the board is Spanish culture, so fingers on buzzers for £1,000. Made from the stigma of the crocus flower, which yellow spice is used? Janet.
Saffron.
In Spain, to flavour paella, it is saffron. Janet, you win the £1,000. And Daniel, that means no money for you. But Janet, that takes your total to £1,650 out of a total of £2,500 that you could have won. And of course, as our number one, you've won the right to come back and improve on that in our next programme. Of course, they managed to pick up a few sums from you earlier on, and I know Mark and Richard are particularly pleased with their little steals. But Janet, we'll see you again on the next programme, and I hope you'll join us then too, when Janet will be taking on 9 new contestants, all trying to beat her to be number one.
The next number one is tomorrow at 4, and earlier at 3:30, the brand new series of Watercolour Challenge returns.